Mason is scheduled to appear tomorrow in the program. We shall see. And we've only got 2 hours today, and we got a ton of stuff. And, Ramon, I want to start here. I'm not sure why. I'm going to use today's show as kind of a therapy session.
Okay.
But the Bill Walton news hit me really hard. I had a chance to work with Bill when I used to do sidelines on the Clipper broadcast with Ralph Lawler and Bill. I got to know him over the years. We did a lot of special events together. Obviously, I know Luke. I want to try and explain to people why this is affecting so many sportscasters, so many people in basketball, so many. Mm-hmm. It's that this dude was literally one of one. Greg, did you ever deal with him directly?
Yeah, only when I've called him to come on the air with you, and then you'd put the phone down and let him speak for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you guys. I used to do a Sunday show at Fox Sports Radio with Billy Ray Smith, who was Cappy's partner for 20 years. And Bill, we had a deal with Bill that he would come on every Sunday. And we would say, it's time for Bill Walton. Bill, good morning. And Billy Ray and I would get up.
Yep.
We'd walk to the back. We'd get coffee. We'd go to the bathroom.
Wow.
We'd come back, and Bill would still be going. He was just this tornado of enthusiasm. And ever since the word came down that he passed away, he didn't tell a lot of people he had cancer.
Yeah.
He passed away on Sunday, and I've been going down the rabbit hole of how can I explain Bill Walton to people that either didn't know him or never got to know him. So I put together a bunch of stuff. We're going to have Michael come on at the bottom of the hour. Michael, who in essence was drafted to replace Bill Walton in Portland.
Oh, right.
And then we're going to try and track James Worthy down next hour, who's a fellow Hall of Famer. And I was with James. James and I were golfing when we got the word, and it floored both of us. It was just super emotional. And so I've been listening to all the reaction over the past couple of days. And this is the best clip that explains Bill Walton. Rick Carlisle, the coach of the Pacers, was Walton's teammate on the Celtics in 1986. The Celtics in 86 threw a flyer out on Walton, whose career had been ravaged by injuries, and he basically got healthy for 1 year and balled out. He won Sixth Man of the Year award because, remember, they already had a front line of Parrish, Bird, and McHale. So there was no place for Walton to play. But he came in. Bird said Walton was his idol growing up, so Bird welcomed him. And Carlisle was a bench guy on that team. And yesterday, when he was getting ready for what turned out to be his last game of the season, his pregame press conference started with 5 minutes of him just talking about Walton. And here's 40 seconds that I think sums up better than I can why people loved Bill.
I know there's been a lot of talk today about what he meant to the whole world. To me, he was a living, breathing event in history, just walking around. He was involved in so many events, in pop culture, in sports. He played drums for the Grateful Dead in the pyramids in Egypt. He's a guy that did everything. And there's been a lot of talk today about, how he speaks in hyperbole so much and stuff. But he defiantly competed for every moment in life to be the greatest it could possibly be.
He defiantly competed for every moment in life to be the greatest. He used to refer to his dog, Cortez, as the greatest dog in the history of mankind. And when his dog died, he was devastated. But he refused, Ramona, to ever let you get down if you were around him. He was just this beacon of enthusiasm. And last year, ESPN did a 4-part 30 for 30 about Walton because he wouldn't shut up. He just kept talking, and he had a stutter until he was about 27 years old. And when he got it, and I always joked with him, I said, it's like you're making up for the first 27 years when you didn't get to talk, because for 27 years we couldn't get you to say anything, and now we can't get you to shut up. And he was just such a great guy. Here's this in that 30 for 30, he was asked about what his philosophy on life was, and here's what he said.
I'm not into being remembered. I learned from yesterday. I dream about tomorrow, but I try to make today my masterpiece. I try my best to be better, to do better, and to do more. I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
And he honestly believed it. He believed that he was the luckiest guy in the world. I remember one time he came to a Laker game, and Luke Walton was coaching the Lakers, and they were in a slump. And they're playing bad, and so I saw him in the back, and I said, hey, Bill, how's Luke holding up? And he looks at me, John Ireland, Luke Walton is the head coach of the Lakers. He makes $4 million a year. He's married with children in Manhattan Beach. No one has it better than Luke Walton. I mean, he just always looked on the bright side of stuff, and I don't know why, but when he died, Worthy and I looked at each other, and we went, there'll never be another Bill Walton. You couldn't. Greg, I don't think you could do a movie about him because I don't think you could do the character. I don't know who would play him. I don't know you could do the character justice.
He spent the thing that I always thought about Bill when I was around him is I know his injury history. I know how bad his
ruined
back
his career.
was. Yeah, his foot injuries and his back injuries, and I know from my own self how much it hurts when your back hurts, okay, or when you have an injury like that. And he somehow was existing with all of this pain, and clearly it said he died after a long battle with cancer. So I didn't know.
Right, he didn't tell anybody because he didn't want to get anybody depressed.
Yeah. And he obviously was carrying around. He was living with a lot of pain. He was experiencing a lot of that, and I think he did a really good job of just like you never know it. You would never know. Like, there was people, everyone had their stories about how much it took for him to just get up in the morning or get up out of bed. Or somebody said when he was in Bristol, he would have to lay down on the floor in between takes.
Right.
And to just get up and then
contemplated suicide at one point because his back was so bad.
Yeah.
And he just didn't want to be in pain anymore. And, Greg, I always felt sorry for people that would say, I hate when Bill Walton does games because he gets off track. They were missing the whole point. So, of course, he got off track because that's who he was. And so he was one of the few announcers where I would watch games, even if the game was a blowout, just to hear what he was going to say next.
So it all depended on what network he was on. When he was on the Pac-12 network, he actually had things to say about the game, and he'd be like, the Conference of Champions.
Yeah.
So like he would have a lot of things to say about the game. When he went on ESPN, he actually was, from what I am told, he was told to play it up even more and be more, because it's an entertainment product, to what you say.
Yeah. And Dave Pasch was the perfect partner for him because Pasch was a straight man. It was basically the Honeymooners.
Yeah.
With Bill Walton as Jackie Gleason and Dave Pasch as Art Carney. And for people that show's an old show, but most of you probably don't remember it. But it was perfect. Here's a little bit of examples, only about 45 seconds of him and Pasch. And this first clip, I wish you guys could see the video. You can watch it on YouTube. The first clip was Pasch's birthday. And somebody brought him a couple of cupcakes that had one candle, and the candle was lit. And Pasch dares Walton to take a bite of the cupcake with the candle on it, and he eats the lit candle.
Yeah.
And then he goes, here's just a taste of what those two used to provide.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. What's your name in there?
Take a bite out of it while it's lit.
While it's lit?
Say, I'm kidding. I can't.
Pasch can't believe he did it.
How about the face plant here? There's a face plant here.
I can't. People coming up and people. Who do you think can succeed here? What type of characteristics should UCLA look for in the next coach?
Barack Obama.
Well, I don't think he's going to coach. So.
Well, you keep saying that, but why? Why are you so negative? Why do you just turn down?
Give me some names.
His brother-in-law coach.
Craig Robinson.
I'm sticking with Barack Obama until he says no.
I mean, and he would just go, Greg, he'd go off on these tangents all the time.
Yeah, no, he is fantastic. He bothered me in those senses too. Like when it was actually trying to watch the game and he would do it. I know what you're talking about, but looking back on it now, I would.
A lot of people had your opinion there.
It's because I'm like, I want to hear about the game. I want him. He's just going off about the Grateful Dead and like whatever's going on in the city of Arizona at the time, or whatever happened to be. But he was something else, and now looking back on it, I couldn't have imagined listening to it as something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And we lost a national treasure.
Think about it. This dude is 7 feet tall with crazy red hair. He looks like Bigfoot, you know? And he has this like crazy hippie personality. He shows up at UCLA and Wooden's like, you got to cut your hair. And he's like, nope. I'm not going to cut my hair. And Wooden goes, okay, well, nice seeing you, Bill. And Bill goes, okay.
We're going to miss you around here, Bill.
Miss you.
Next day, Bill comes in with a short haircut.
And then he's like, he was the greatest devotee of John Wooden.
Used to call him Ramona twice a week when Coach Wooden got into his 90s and Coach Wooden lived to be 99. He called him twice a week, every week, and would leave these long messages on his answering machine until Wooden would pick up the phone. And Bill never forgot about that. We're going to get Michael in here next. Michael was drafted number 1 overall by the Trailblazers.
I've heard that story before.
After Bill Walton led them to the title.
Yeah.
So, Michael, I don't think I'll ask him. I don't think they were ever on the roster at the same time, maybe for 1 year, but Bill was hurt.
Uh-huh.
And so Michael had to replace him and then competed against him his whole career. So we'll get Michael in here next. Momo's in for Mace. We're celebrating the life of Bill Walton. We're going to do the whole regular show. The Dodgers are reeling. They've lost 5 in a row. We've got a bunch of stuff. We'll do sports graffiti at the top of the hour. I mentioned we're going to try and track down James Worthy next hour.
I still got to hear about Idaho.
Yeah, Idaho was unbelievable, really fun. All of it coming up between now and 3 o'clock. Sedano and Cap will it's a combo play today, because we're leading up to Game 4 of the Mavericks and the Wolves, which you can hear right here on ESPN LA. Mason in Ireland, Momo in for Mace, ESPN LA.
The fun way to
ESPN, the OGs of LA Sports Radio. We're here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. for your afternoon. Sandwiched between Travis and Sliwa and Sonato and Cap. Mason and Ireland continues now.
We're talking about Bill Walton, and I wanted to get Michael Thompson in here. And for people who don't know, Michael was the number one, like Bill, the number one overall draft pick in the whole NBA draft. He was, in essence, taken to replace Walton, who had been injured after leading the Blazers to the 77 title. And Michael joins us now. Michael, were you and Bill ever on the roster at the same time in Portland?
Taken to replace Bill Walton. Where did you get that crazy information? I was picked to join Bill Walton and him and Maurice Lucas in the front line because we thought Bill was still on the roster for 2 years when I was there, but he was on the injured list for 2 full years. We had no intention of trading him. He just had a falling out with the organization, the way they treated his injuries, as Ramona probably knows. But as far as replacing Bill Walton, no way. Nobody could replace Bill Walton.
He basically sat out a whole year, right?
Yeah, so Michael, did you ever play in a game with him as your teammate?
No, he was in San Diego the whole time, Ramona, the whole 2 years, really, that he was still under contract. He didn't play. He was still, but he never was in Portland, stayed away from the team because he was upset with the team's treatment of his injuries. So I never got a chance to play with him, and that is the biggest regret of my professional career.
All right, so Michael, you're uniquely qualified to answer this. A lot of younger people, everybody basically younger than Greg, like people of Brian's age, never saw Bill Walton play. They know of him as a kind of a character and an announcer. Tell us about Bill Walton, the player. I've been told that when healthy, as good as anybody. Is that exaggerating on my part?
Not at all. Ramona, if Bill Walton could have had a 15-year career, he would have been a top 5 center. He would have been right up there, right behind probably Bill Russell, Kareem, Wilt, and Hakeem Olajuwon. He would have been number 5. That's how great he was. Bill Walton, for people like Greg Bergman and people who are young as him, he was Jokic before Jokic. Without the three-point shot. He didn't have a three-point shot because big men weren't encouraged to shoot threes back then. And plus, they didn't have him in the game anyway. Didn't come until 1979. But when it comes to his passing, his basketball IQ, he was exactly like how Jokic is today. And Bill was twice, make that 10 times the better defender.
Lead-off double. Nothing.
Just don't remember him because Gale Sears, his career was cut short so quickly by injuries, but he was a great, great player.
When we talk about I knew him mostly as a UCLA guy, and I think it's what he did in Westwood as a collegiate player, and that's when he wasn't marred by injuries. That's when he was able to just go be Bill Walton. And I think that's why, like, when you compare him to Jokic, that's really why he had such an affinity for Jokic. But the part where, the guy has 2 championships, one up in Portland, their only title ever, and then with the Celtics that year in '86, where he was everybody's childhood idol growing up, and he kind of joins their team as a 6-man. What was he like playing against in that season?
Yeah, Michael, you probably had to guard him, right?
Oh yeah, I had to play against him that year. He was 6th man of the year. Matter of fact, that's the greatest front line in NBA history, Ramona. I don't think anybody would dispute that. Walton, McHale, Bird, and Parrish. Think about that front line, people, that we had to deal with the Lakers. But even that year when he was not in his prime, he was still a very effective all-star caliber player. It just shows you how great he was, even though he was diminished by injuries. But playing against him, jump hooks, turnaround jump shots, great defender, defender when it comes to communicating with his teammates, could protect the basket. I was his last hurrah when he was 6th man of the year, and he just had it all as a player.
Michael Thompson joining us. We're remembering Bill Walton. And Michael, why do you think this hit? I was with James Worthy when we found out we were golfing, and it hit us both really hard. And I think the reason I was so emotionally affected by it was there's really nobody else like him, right? He was kind of like one of one, wasn't he?
If you were in a bad mood and all of a sudden you ran into Bill Walton, you were going to stop being in a bad mood.
Yeah.
He was just so nice, so positive all the time. Oh, he cared about you. He would ask how you're doing, how your family's doing. I would say the 3 nicest people in sports I've ever met who just couldn't be more gracious and nice to you and more welcoming to you are Pau Gasol, Magic Johnson, and Bill Walton. Those 3 guys.
Yeah. And it wasn't an act. Like that's the thing that made it work. The reason why he was so beloved is that He wasn't just doing it for the cameras or to be funny. Like, this really is who he was.
Yeah, all the time.
And I tell you one thing. It means so much to him, to my son Clay, because I told Clay what Bill told me. Bill told me, hey, Michael, I really love and respect Clay's game. I think he's a great player. I told that to Clay, and Clay was beaming. He was so proud to get that kind of compliment from a legend like Bill.
All right, so speaking of Clay, you and Clay went to see Caitlin Clark in person on Friday night at Crypto.com Arena. She didn't have her shot until the very end of the game, but what was your takeaway after sitting courtside and watching her play? Did she live up to what you thought?
I am so mad at Ramona Shelburne. I can't stand people like Ramona Shelburne, because this is your fault, Ramona Shelburne, what's going on.
I got you into
You're
it?
a woman. You're a woman. You're supposed to be looking out for your kind, for looking out for Caitlin. You see what's going on with Caitlin Clark? They've changed her game. I was afraid this was going to happen, Ramona.
I know.
She's turned into she's gone from Steph Curry to T.J. McConnell. What are they doing?
They're not setting her up at the arc?
No, they're not letting her be Caitlin.
Exactly. She's not the Iowa Caitlin we saw. She needs to take 15 threes a game. She needs to come down and pull up in transition and take 30-foot threes. 19,000 people were in that arena the other night, Ramona and Ireland. 19. Do you think they were there to watch her take 12 shots or just to pass the ball all night? No. They're there because of the way she plays like Steph, and she's not playing like that anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and well, you think it's the coach, or do you think it's the way they're defending her, or why?
No, it's the coach.
Is it?
It's the system. It's the coach.
It's the coach.
Yeah.
It's the coach, and the WNBA better get a handle on this, because they're going to blow this opportunity to take this league to the next level, because this is going to wear off soon if she keeps averaging 15 points a game. People are going to be saying, hey, what's the big deal? Why am I here?
I know. I heard the get-in price for tickets to tonight's game, which is in Indiana. This is a rematch camp, against Sparks against the Fever, is like $2. Like, they're already kind of starting to lose.
The shine's off a little bit.
Yeah, because they're losing. I mean, they beat the Sparks that night. She did well, but I think it's Michael's absolutely right. You gotta, like, if you put Steph Curry in a different system, he wouldn't be Steph Curry. Like, if you gotta let him play the way he plays.
Imagine if the Warriors drafted Steph, saying, hey, Steph, we want you to tone it down. We don't want you to play the way you played at Davidson. That's not going to work in this league. That's what the WNBA is doing to her.
Interesting. Huh. All right. Now I'll be anxious to go see her play in person. You're right, though. She only took 12 shots. That's not enough.
It's crazy.
All right. Well, Michael, thank you for this. We're going to try and track Worthy down next hour. I just think that I don't know if we'll ever see another Bill Walton. I made the point that I don't know if you could do a movie about him, because I don't think you could do him justice. Mm-hmm. I don't know who would play him.
He had the greatest NCAA finals game in history. 22 of 22. I know they say 21 of 22, but the one shot he missed was legitimately goaltended.
Huh.
Yeah, offensive goal. The ball went through the basket. Michael's right. Yeah, it was 21 of 22, but offensive goaltending was a one miss. All right, Michael, thanks for doing this. We'll catch up with you again soon.
All right, got to go on my walk and smoke a cigar.
All right. Those two things seem counterproductive, but I'll let you be you.
I mean,
You're
in
exercising.
Bill's honor, you'd smoke something else.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, coming up next, we'll spin the wheel of questions. Momo in for Mace. I'm John Ireland, ESPN LA.
It's time for Wheel of Questions. Producer Brian Cohen, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it, Jack.
All right. Oh, I had a feeling this might come up today. The Dodgers, who are playing in New York right now, first game of a doubleheader, 0-0 in the third inning. They were rained out yesterday. The Dodgers have lost 5 games in a row for the first time in 5 years. Is that something or nothing? How long would a losing streak have to go on before you would be concerned?
10 games. Double digits.
Greg, are you concerned at all? 5 straight losses, they're not hitting.
I don't like that they're not hitting, but I'm not concerned for the team overall.
10 games would give you pause,
You
right?
start being like, all right, what's going on here? We got to make sweeping changes at the bottom of the lineup because they just can't hit. The bottom of the lineup the whole weekend did nothing. Literally zero.
So we're talking like Chris Taylor.
Chris Taylor, Gavin Lux,
Yeah.
Andy Pajes.
Yeah, that's
Brian,
a struggle
what do you
bus
Austin
down there.
Barnes.
5 games is nothing to me here. Still very early. Maybe if this was like 5 games, last month of the season, you have a little worry. But right now, plenty of time. They'll get right.
I don't need to get to 10. I think if they get to 7, if they lose 2 more games, then that would mean a 7-game losing streak. With Greg, with a team this good, 7 straight losses.
No, it would
that's something.
That is, it's a little bit of something, and just tap that mic a little bit there, Ireland, because it's causing some problems. But it's like missing Max Muncy. I never thought would be the end of the whole of everything. Like the fact that he's not in the lineup is causing problems throughout the rest of the lineup.
Yeah,
because they have to
weird.
put Kike Hernandez in there, who's no longer hitting. Chris Taylor's not hitting. They're in the last inning, the second inning, they had a guy, Teoscar Hernandez, had a leadoff double, and they stranded him like normal. 6 through 9 has been terrible.
Yeah, I think that.
But their first 6 are so good. It's
Yeah.
usually enough
but
to
they,
win.
But they're not stringing hits together
I know.
at the
they're
same time.
29th in batting average.
Wow.
29th and out of 30. So Greg's right. They're not hitting. The pitching has been surprisingly
Well, think about it. If they're
decent.
29th in batting average, and you got guys like Shohei and Mookie who are they're both over 300 still, right? Freddie,
Yeah,
is
like
he 300?
330. No, Freddie's like 280.
280. But you got 2 guys that are way up. So that means the other guys are way lower.
Yeah, it's way down. It's bad right now. They'll figure it out. They'll get through it. But right now, it's frustrating to watch as a Dodger fan because they just can't string together hits. Mookie just got on base with 1 out. Nothing.
Yeah, they've got 3 hits in the first 3 innings tonight and no runs to show for it.
Yep.
So, Greg, you took a reluctant Riley Bergman to Lion King over the weekend. How did it go?
I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
What did she think?
She really liked it. She was putting her phone up and like taking videos of everything.
I like The Lion King.
It was amazing. Nathan Lane. They had all of the original.
Nathan Lane was there.
They had all the original voice actors for the
Cool.
most part. I
Yeah.
think like Jonathan Taylor Thomas wasn't there. It was young Simba, but they had. I think his name is Jonathan Weaver. Is the voice of young Simba. He was
Okay.
there with Nathan Lane and whoever played Pumbaa. I forget his name right now. But they were on the stage together for the first time in 30 years.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. Northwest, for some reason.
Kanye and Kim's kid.
Kanye's kid, Kim's kid, for some reason saying, I just can't wait to be king. If you took any random 10-year-old off the street, could do the exact same thing Northwest did.
Right,
Yeah.
but she has famous parents, so they
Yeah,
throw
but
her
I
a
mean,
bone.
You had the original voice there.
I just
to
think like
sing.
if you're gonna put your kid out there, it's better if they're really good.
Yeah, no. She
wasn't bad.
She wasn't like, oh my God, that was horrendous, but she wasn't like, oh wow, she can sing.
Yeah.
No, she just.
It's like
was a
Bronny
10-year-old.
James, right? Like if you're gonna put him out there, like he better get drafted. He better be good.
100%. But it was very cool because they hadn't ever been together since the movie came out. It was great.
Oh, good. Okay. So you had a Walton clip you wanted to play. Which one was it?
So this one is my favorite clip just because Bill Walton, when you ask him to do something, he just kind of goes off on the tangents.
Right.
So this is when Jaime Jaquez won Pac-12 Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And Bill Walton was just was congratulating him. Just count how many times he says Jaime Jaquez.
Hey now, Jaime, congratulations on all your incredible accomplishments as you keep moving up the leaderboard as an all-time Bruin great. Yeah, in so many ways, but today, specifically as a scorer. More importantly, as a winner in the game of life. This is all so cool. I am so incredibly happy for and proud of all your remarkable achievements, Jaime. You're a shining star, a beacon of hope for a better tomorrow, and a timeless Bruin legend. Jaime, you've brought so much pride and joy into our lives and the lives of everyone who resides in the universe of goodness. Jaime, you've added to and built on what makes UCLA so special in every way. Keep up the great work, Jaime. You're immeasurably and incalculably brilliant. Keep going, ever higher on the ladder. And please stay forever, Jaime Jaquez. Thanks for putting smiles of pride, hope, optimism, and joy on the faces of the world. Good luck, Jaime. Good everything, forever. Good Jaime Jaquez, forever. Wow. You're fantastic, spectacular, and wonderful. Jaime Jaquez, yeah. Empty the thesaurus of all good things, and we'll leave it at that. Shine on, play on, Jaime Jaquez on.
10 times you mentioned Jaime Jaquez in that minute and 30
That was amazing.
clip.
So
I thought he was done like 5 different times.
5 times.
A group of friends of mine in Manhattan Beach started this organization called WSA, West Side Sports Associates. And basically what they do is they raise money to put these guys a couple of them came from real estate backgrounds. So these guys would drive around and notice that in inner cities there were no fields. There was a lot of concrete, but there was no, if you wanted to play baseball or football or soccer, or the girls wanted to play, there were no fields. So these guys have been raising money for youth sports for underdeveloped parts of the city for 25 years.
Okay.
And their big moneymaker every year is they bring in Roy Firestone. He's on the board of that organization.
Roy Firestone.
And Roy does an hour at a banquet with a celebrity. And they've brought in Pete Carroll and Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus.
Did he make him cry?
One year, their guest was Bill Walton.
Oh, my gosh.
And I got invited by my friends, and I went there, and Bill was supposed to go for an hour. He went for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
He stayed and signed every last autograph, talked to everybody, took pictures. You could not get him out of there. He wanted to make your day.
Yeah.
That's what got him, like Carlisle was saying. He wanted to maximize every moment in life and win it.
Yeah.
And the way he executed it was he would make you feel so good about yourself that you'd be ready to run through a wall.
Yeah.
And that's why so many people are just blown away by his passing, because who's going to do that now? There isn't another guy like him.
Yeah, you can't pull that off,
Right.
Like
he just had he would use this phrase a lot. He had boundless enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Just this zest for life that was unbelievable.
And I think about this all the time, like when you're having a bad day or you're stressed out and you're like, I'm just getting through this one.
Right.
Just getting through it. I'm just putting my head down and getting through it. Got to suck it up and get through this. And that would never be Bill.
Right. And he was, one of a kind. Absolute one of a kind guy. All right, coming up, we're going to do sports graffiti. Now, we've been doing this lately, and it's been going well, but here's how it works. You're going to call the show at 877-710-3776. 877-710-ESPN. Greg will answer the phone. He'll ask for your name. And then I will say, Ramona, you're on Sports Graffiti, go. And you can say anything you want. You can have 10, 15 seconds of anything you want. You can talk about stuff we've talked about on the show, whether it be the Dodgers or Bill Walton or Ramona's clip show or Greg going to the Lion King or me going to Idaho, whatever you want.
20 hours in the car.
Yeah, whatever you want, you can lay it on us. And somebody, Greg, who was it that created this rules for sports graffiti that we're going to play here in a second?
Jeremiah Witten.
Jeremiah Witten, who's done so many great songs for us, has decided to do a song about sports graffiti that explains the rules, and we'll play that for you coming up as well. 877-710-3776. Sports graffiti coming up next. First, let me talk to you about BB Go. BB Go is the official game day snack of the Lakers. Mouth-watering, Korean snacks and meals in minutes. Keep your freezer stocked with BBGO for a delicious meal. They're Korea's #1 food brand, and they're making the whole world more delicious. Minimum effort, maximum flavor. I get mine at Ralph's, but they're available at all major grocery stores in the freezer aisle. BBGO Mandu are the largest, juiciest dumplings in the market. Every day is the day to live delicious with BBGO, the official game day snack of the Lakers. Momo Informace, I'm John Ireland, ESPN LA.
Radio show in Los Angeles. The podcast, that is.
Mason and Ireland, the #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. The #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles, and we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
All right, it is time for Sports Graffiti, but Jeremiah Witten, one of our loyal listeners who's written a lot of songs for us, has written a theme for Sports Graffiti that kind of explains the rules. Hit it, Brian.
Berman hates callers, let me tell y'all why. They all call in, fill up all the lines. Producers try to scream, but they tell them lies. But they say the same things all the time. First of all, the directions are not hard. When the host says your name, that's the talking part. Turn the radio down, roll your windows up. Also stop calling up from the Walmart. Don't say bad words or they dump it, dummy. Don't say how you doing, cause we don't care. Got 15 seconds, so please just share. Kinda stupid nonsense you got up there. Why is Mark Jackson not the Lakers coach? Frankie D. Fresh calls and asking for your votes. Super fans read the host their love notes. What team should be where LeBron goes? The other day, some dude asked to handicap the horse race. John had to hold back to not laugh up in his face. And another dozen Raider fans say, hey, Derek Carr deserves a payday. Stop calling up saying that the Clippers are sweet. The only reason that you like them is the tickets are cheap. Listening to fans talking sports isn't that deep. I guess we'll just suffer through another call of the week. Berman hates callers, let me tell y'all why. They all call in, fill up all the lines. Producers try to scream, but they tell them lies. But they say the same things all the time.
All right, that is awesome. That is awesome. So now you understand the rules. Momo, you ready?
Yeah.
To do a little sports graffiti?
Let's do it.
All right, let's start with D Smooth. D Smooth, you're on sports graffiti. Go.
Hey, y'all. I'm going to be the one to say it because somebody needs to say it.
What's that?
And Kim's kid sucked.
Oh, man.
Messed up the entire show. It was like a fourth grade performance at Marian Anderson in the city of Compton. Are you kidding me? It did not work for me.
All right, thanks, man.
I mean, he's not wrong. She just was a 10-year-old. There was nothing. I'm not gonna kill a 10-year-old.
He just did.
Well, you don't have to. D Smooth just did it for you. Eric, you're on sports graffiti. Go.
Yeah, I'm just excited about some of the shows coming back in June. We have Clips, Ramona's show coming out next week. The Boys return. House of the Dragon returns season 2, and then also The Bear at the end of the month.
Yeah, all that. You're right. Yeah, it is a good month. Thanks, Eric. John, you're on sports graffiti. Go.
Bergman, you suck. It's Jeff, not John.
Okay.
Also,
sorry,
John,
Jeff.
I wanted to apologize. wanted to apologize to you, John. I took Friday off. I didn't think yet again we'd have somebody asking for Mark Jackson. And third, I'd like to thank the caller. I'd like to thank the caller who dropped it in the theme song. So now we don't have to. But yet again, we're gonna because people don't listen.
All right, thanks, man.
Awesome. By the way, speaking of not listening, I repeat the name back to him, and he said yes. So
there you
sorry,
go.
Jeff.
Here's Greg. Greg, you're on sports graffiti. Go.
The Dodgers, please get it together. I'm sick of tuning in and seeing you guys fall flat on your faces. I know it's early, but we're worried, just so everybody knows. Secondarily, the Lakers coaching search, if they don't figure this out quicker than later, everyone in L.A. is going to throw them out the window. Like, we're sick of going back and forth year to year, coach to coach. And no, we don't want Mark Jackson. Don't say it again. Bye, guys.
All right, see ya. Thomas, you're on sports graffiti. Go.
Hey, two really good players, Doncic and LeBron. Somebody needs to tell both of them to shut the hell up and let the refs do their job. Stop crying every time they want a call. Tell them to shut the hell up, stop crying like little babies, and let the refs do their job.
All right, thanks for that. Billy, you're on sports graffiti. Go. Billy, you there?
Oh, yeah. I think LeBron is going to go to Dallas.
Really?
I think Mark Cuban has sold a piece of the team to some investors that are interested in opening casinos.
Bauman or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
The
crazy,
Adelsons,
Billy.
yeah.
It could happen.
Oh,
Jay.
Dumont. Patrick Dumont, yeah.
Jay, you're on sports graffiti. Go, Jay.
Hey guys, I just want to know, you know how sports implements the new rules every year, like MLB put a second baseman on at the ninth inning.
Right.
Well, I saw Ant-Man was really tired. Ant-Man was really tired near the end of the games. What if NBA implemented like the NHL, where a player can go to the side without having to call timeout, then another player come in, just like the NHL does?
Change on the fly. That would be radical. But I as a concept, I would try it in the G League and see if it works. You'd have to make rules to it. Like, you obviously can't have a guy come off the bench on a fast break.
Yeah,
but maybe if your team is in the backcourt, you can change on the fly. Yeah, it's not impossible. Martin, you're on sports graffiti. Go.
I just want to share some love to Bill Walton. My condolences go out to the Walton family, UCLA legend, NBA legend. I'm a lifelong Laker fan. The only time I ever listened to Clipper games was when he was sitting on that second chair.
He was awesome, man.
In the moment, guy, and he dropped this gem. I'll always remember. Piatkowski, Jordan, in that order. We love you, Bill.
Piatkowski, Jordan, in that order. Gene, you're on sports graffiti. Gene, go.
Yeah, same thing. I used to watch Walton play with the Bruins when I was a teenager. I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, he was the best.
Next Laker coach, not Redick, and hire Bickerstaff.
JB.
I don't know.
JB.
All right, thanks, Gene. I don't know, Momo. Does he have a relationship with LeBron?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think you probably need one for this job. Ruben, you're on sports graffiti. Go.
J.J. Redick is a perfect coach for the Lakers. because when they crash and burn again, they'll have a perfect scapegoat and blame him for not having coaching staff, not running a system right, and not doing anything.
Well, I hope you're wrong, but, it's happened before. Big Joe, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
LeBron is not a Laker legend. Don't treat him like one. He wants to be a free agent. Let him walk.
Okay. Frankie D. Fresh.
There it is.
You're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
What it do, babies? Where's that gutless bum Morales on Live Energy Tuesday? Another thing I gotta say is I think we should do Frank for Frank. Frank Vogel's the next Lakers head coach.
Oh, my gosh.
And R.I.P. Bill Walton. And Frankie D. Fresh for Listener Choice of the Year. Shout out to Jeremiah Red for that song.
All right, man. Yeah, that was a good song that he mentions you. Devin, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
This is Mandy Awards caller and listener of the year, Laker Devin, baby. I just wanted to say when I was a young pup, Shaq and Kobe were Lakers and they were winning titles. I just remember Bill Walton, and he would always say, "Throw it down, big man, throw it down."
Yeah, and had a bunch of things.
He did
like
say that all the time. That was one of his.
Raj, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
I met Bill right after meeting his son. He was sitting below you and Michael with Cap down there with Kareem at a Laker game. And I walked down to him. I was probably 10 years old. I asked him for his signature, and I said, "Hey, your son has signed my jersey." And he laughed and he looked at it and he goes, "I'm going to sign twice as big so you remember that I was the big boss." And I asked Cap to sign it, and he looks at me and goes, "No, not today, kid." And I walk away. And Bill looks at me and he goes, "That's a lot nicer than he normally is."
That's true. Yeah, I've seen Kareem.
So rest in peace to the big fella.
Yeah, I've seen Kareem tell people basically to get lost in so many words. He's been better as he's gotten older, but that's not a surprising story. Steven, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go. Steven, you there?
Much for the tribute. Yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
here.
Go ahead.
Thanks so much for the tribute today. I want to tell you that I was a high school student in '73 in St. Louis, and I got to go to Kiel Auditorium and see him play Dr. K and his Larry Keenan in that fantastic game where he went 21 for 22.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, and by the way, as Michael points out, he actually went 22 for 22, but got called for offensive goaltending, so all 22 shots went through the basket. Maybe the greatest game in championship history of any sport. Think about that.
Yeah.
In the title game, you go 21 of 22, 44 points. I mean, that's insane. Drew, you're on Sports Graffiti. Drew, go.
Hey, just wanted to give a quick story. It was the 2008 season. The Lakers were playing here in Denver, and I got to meet Bill, and he actually signed a hat for me. And, when I heard the news, I was really devastated. So I just wanted to give that little piece of a story.
All right, thanks, Drew. Last one, Noah, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
How far are they going to go with letting guys travel and carry the ball? Like, if they would have officiated games like this back in the day, Kobe, Michael, Magic, Larry, they would have scored 400 points a night. You're supposed to get a step and a half. These guys are taking up 4 steps between dribbles and then picking it up and running the hoop. Basketball is way easier if you don't have to dribble the basketball.
You know what? He's 100% right, Ramona. They let way too much traveling go, don't you think?
Yeah, and I carrying. I think the Euro step has gotten to be Euro step dancing. I mean, it's a little much, and I think traveling, carrying the ball. You're like some of those other moves that people do, like even the footwork in the post. It's like the Halo rule in baseball now.
Hey, go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say, did you get the text from Michael this weekend where he sent the why NBA fans hate the NBA now? It was all about traveling.
Yeah, there's way too much of it. Somebody said something in there about, and I wanted to ask you about this, Ramona, before I forget.
Yeah.
There's a beat writer in Philadelphia, a guy named Keith Pompey.
Yep, I know
He's
him.
been there for a long time. He's very well regarded. He says Daryl Morey is going to go hard after Paul George in free agency. That's well known. But if he can't land him, he's going to go after LeBron or OG Anunoby.
Yeah.
How worried should Laker fans be that LeBron might leave? I've never really I've always felt like he's going to opt out, sign another deal with the Lakers, and be back. And I still think that's the likely scenario, but how worried should they be that he could leave?
I agree. Look, first of all, Daryl Morey always makes a call. Remember last year?
Right.
He made a call on Kevin Durant. He was like, let's just make a call on it, right? Like, Daryl's one of those guys that if there's a 2% chance, he's still going to make a call.
Yeah.
Remember, I think the Sixers met with LeBron before he signed in LA too. Might have just been with LeBron's agent, but I think Josh Harris did get a meeting.
Do you think there's anything to it, though? Do you think percentage chance that LeBron plays for a team other than the Lakers next year in your mind is what?
10%.
Okay. Higher than I
10%, but I wouldn't think it would be Philly. I think if he went anywhere else, it would be someplace close to LA. Like, I could see Dallas. I could see Phoenix. I could see Golden State.
Something within a 2-hour flight of LAX.
Yeah.
Why would he go to Philadelphia? Like that's
just too far.
It's too far, and it's also
he has no connection to Philly.
No, it's just, I mean, you have Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, but that I don't know. That just doesn't seem like it fits for him. They always flame out in the second round.
Yeah, the East is more open than the West.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, the reason
Philly
he would go
just
there
seems
is
weird.
if it's just a chance to win, right? The same reason, if he thinks he has a better shot there.
If
I'd
a
see him in
team-
New York more than I'd see him
I'll
in
tell you
Philly.
when you should worry if you're a Laker fan. If a team drafts Bronny higher than we expect him to go, like if a team uses a first-round pick on Bronny,
Which they could,
then I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's something in the mix here. But it hasn't happened, and I don't even think that's a lock. Like, let's say Dallas drafts Bronny at the end of the first round. I don't think A equals B. I don't think that automatically means LeBron's going to Dallas, but it would make me think about it.
Yeah.
It would definitely make me think about it. All right, coming up next, Hall of Famer, big game James Worthy. We'll talk about Bill Walton and what it was like to compete against Bill. First, let me tell you about one of our favorite partners at ESPN LA. Mirror Audio Video has been serving LA sports fans for more than 40 years. Why? Isaac and Roy and the team at Mirror Audio Video can deliver for you products and services that others just don't offer. Cutting edge home automation from Crestron, Lutron, and Control 4. You want to have one-touch control over everything from your pool to your lights to your window shades? Mirror is the place. Better, faster Wi-Fi? Mirror can do that. Plus, and we can't stress this enough, world-class customer service. You know when you call some big company and they throw you into phone jail? Not going to happen with Mirror. You call, Isaac or Roy picks up, and just like that, you're taken care of. You don't believe me? Try it right now. Here's the number. 310-234-4010. That's the phone number for Mirror Audio Video. 310-234-4010. Tell them Mason and Ireland sent you. They'll hook you up for sure. That's Mirror Audio Video in Westwood. Big game James Worthy coming up next, ESPN LA.
The fun. 219. Look who's here. A live imaging Tuesday presented by Kia of downtown L.A. Hi, Momo.
What's going on, Chris?
Now, I got to keep this tight because the Hall of Famer, the great James Worthy, is going to join us. And then we could yap after that.
Okay.
Okay?
So you're coming back? I've been
Chris,
waiting for
it's
you all
not like
show.
you to be tardy for lit.
You know how
is
it
everything
is.
okay in your world?
A lot of meetings, a lot of fighting for our listeners.
All right,
Are you
good.
corporate now?
I'm not. I'm just
He's trying to stay out of it.
I'm just
He's-
there.
Yeah.
I'm just there.
He's in the ether.
I'm in the ecosystem.
I feel like there's
Chris, you ever meet Bill Walton in your travels?
I did once, and it was incredible. And then I used to have him on the Tony Bruno show many times as a guest, and he was the ultimate guest because you didn't have to prep. You didn't have to prep anybody. You just had Bill on, and he just did his thing.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of Bill, we welcome to the program my buddy James Worthy, the Laker Hall of Famer. James and I were together when we got the news. We play golf together a lot, and we were together when we got the news that Bill had passed away. And big game, let me start with this. Why do you think it affected us as hard as it did? Like, I don't think either of us would say we were best friends with Bill, but we knew him, we liked him a lot. Why do you think it hit us that hard?
Well, when you know someone in your life that's not even similar or even close to being like anybody else, is like he's one of a kind.
Yeah.
And that's number one. And the effect that he has on people, he was a giant angel, and he was all about love and peace and happiness and your well-being. He touched me in a way, John. I met him my rookie year in Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska. The Clippers were playing the Lakers in an exhibition game. And I came down early for breakfast. It was like 7 o'clock, and Bill was down there. He invited me to his table. And we didn't talk about basketball. We talked about Dean Smith and John Wooden. He was just so unique and loving. And when you were around him, he gave you so much. Like if you were down or if you were up, he just gave you so much life. He had so much life in him that he just shared it with everybody. And I love Bill Walton. I love Lori. We spent some time together doing crazy stuff and a Kimball show and The Price is Right. And just talking to him was a treat, man. He had so many interesting conversations about different topics that would uplift you. I remember being really down, and, everybody knows I had a tough time in the early 90s. And the first time I saw Bill, he said, I had that incident in Houston, and the first thing he said to me, you showed up and you played the game for your teammates. That's character. That's what real men do. And it's just something I needed to hear at the time. He was just a special guy. We miss him.
Hey, James, what do you when I saw Bill, he would never show you that he was in pain. He would never show you what was going on with him personally. Like, I didn't know he was sick. I didn't know he had cancer. I know his back always hurt, and it was hard for him to move and get around and stuff. But how do you take a guy who's got that much going on physically in terms of pain, but has this positive demeanor and this relentless enthusiasm? How do those two things go together?
It's hard to explain because I remember not so long ago he was in really, really deep depression about, pain and where he was in life, and he overcame that. You see Bill come into a building, he's carrying his own chair. He had his own chair he would carry around with him and sit. Nothing could get him down. Like, nothing could get him down. Whatever he had, his happiness and his joy for life and waking up. He was the one that gave me one of my favorite quotes. He said, James, when I wake up in the morning, everything else is a bonus after that. If I'm in pain and I'm waking up, it's a bonus. If I'm, if I'm not happy and I need to deal with some things, I woke up and it's a bonus. And he used that bonus like he really believed that it was a bonus, and that's the way he lived. He just lived that way with everybody. You wouldn't expect to be getting a audio and video on your birthday from Bill Walton. You don't expect that. I mean, we didn't play together, we didn't grow up together, but I watched him when he was at UCLA, and I remember John Wooden quoting one time that Bill Walton was the best center he ever coached. And I was like, hold up there, Coach. Hold up now. There's another one. But
yeah,
people forget just how great Bill Walton was as a player. And I think his personality and his post-career, it's bigger than his career was. And his career was second to none as far as collegiately and what he did at Portland and Boston.
yeah.
And throughout all the injuries, his life capacity and what he gave people more away from the court than he did on the court.
James Worthy, the Hall of Famer, is our guest. Big game. Last thing for you. You mentioned it. I think a lot of people, James has daughters, and they're obviously much younger than him. I think a lot of people only know Bill as an announcer. They never saw Bill Walton, the player. You did. I know by the time you got into the league, injuries had ravaged his career. But in '86, when the Celtics won that title, and he got Sixth Man of the Year, it's like he got all of his energy back, and he got healthy for 1 year. What was Walton, the player, like?
Yeah, I hate we missed that year, man. That would have been a great – they were really good. He had, gotten as healthy as he could and really just showed who he really was. He was dominant, unstoppable. He had the little 15-footer. He blocked shots. He ran the floor. He had this play he called in Portland where he put his hands over his head, and it was like a bicycle motion. And I just remember him in Portland with Maurice Lucas and, Jack Ramsey was coaching. He was unstoppable. I told you, I couldn't believe it when John Wooden said that he was the best center. I said I didn't agree with that, but I said I'll give you a tie. But that's just how good he was in college. And unfortunately, he got some injuries early on, but I don't know if there's a center today. Akeem Olajuwon with his footwork, was pretty good. But I don't know if there's a center that could keep up with Bill Walton. He was that dominant. He was so good, John.
Yeah.
Great passer.
Yeah.
Soft touch inside. Just sprinted the floor and a lot of energy. I'm going to miss this guy, man.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Well, hey, thank you for doing this. I know you're getting a lot of requests, so we appreciate you answering the phone for us. And
got it, Johnny.
Yeah, all right, man. Talk soon. There's James Worthy as we kind of celebrate the life of Bill Walton. All right, there's a big story in baseball that we haven't gotten to yet. I think the phrase that most baseball players are saying is "Ding dong, the witch is dead." I'll explain next. Momo and for Mace, I'm John Ireland. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
At the East Central Hotel, sometimes you could hear Cappy screaming "ding dong." It could be late on a Tuesday night. You never know. Because the East Central could be tonight. And we've got tonight as Bob Seeger and Kenny. Have you ever heard the Kenny Rogers version?
Have.
The Kenny Rogers.
Wasn't Kenny Rogers a duet with somebody?
Yeah. Was it Sheena Easton or was it?
I think it was Sheena Easton.
Great
Kim
version.
Carnes, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. I'll look it up.
Anyway, when you want to say to somebody, hey, we've got tonight, and I'm going to take you to the East Central Hotel, where is the home of entertainment. It's also the downtown L.A. home away from home for Cappy and I. East Central Hotel is a contemporary hotel with an authentic LA vibe in the heart of downtown LA. You're so close to LA Live, you could taste it. So when you go to a Lakers game or you go to a Kings game, stay at East Central. That way you could party, oh party.
Sheena Easton was correct, Chris. That's a strong
great version.
Pull by
Wonderful Tonight. Oh, no, We've Got Tonight. Wonderful Tonight's a different song, but We've Got Tonight. Whether you're coming to downtown LA to see a concert, show, event, or game, East Central provides entertainment. How about the Nixo Lounge overlooking Figueroa? We did an event there.
I've done a show from there.
You've done a show from there. Momo, you ever been at the Nixo Lounge?
I have.
Okay.
It's a great spot.
It is a beautiful spot. Beautiful. It's beautiful. So here's what you got to do. Go to eastcentralhotel.com. Give them a call at 213-748-1291. And you say, hey, homeboy or homegirl, I want to stay in the Cappy room. The Cappy room where they got a painting up of Cappy. I don't know for sure if they have it up there yet, but you want to stay in the Cappy penthouse on the 8th floor at the East Central Hotel. The home of entertainment, our official downtown home, away from home. East Central Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. Entertainment's official address, sucker. Oh, there it is. We've got tonight. Kenny Rogers and Sheena Easton on a Live Imaging Tuesday presented by Kia of
I love
downtown
this
LA.
song. I could rock out to this song. This could be a karaoke
Now,
song.
this was Bob Seger did the original, right? I'm guessing.
We've got tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
And then these guys covered it.
Mason and Ireland. Ramona's here in for Mace. Is he back tomorrow?
He is
Have
back
you seen,
tomorrow.
Did you see all his Instagram pictures?
Ramona was telling me about it. Is it the typical Mason picture? Him, no one else, but he's in every photo.
Yes, and he's looking out wistfully across.
And he's shirtless.
And he's
Of
always
course he
shirtless,
is.
and he's
holding
he's
onto
definitely
a pipe
soaking.
of some sort.
No, just shirtless and wet in all of them.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
And saying, "We've got tonight, babe."
Now, Chris, question regarding Mandy's voting.
Yes. Have you voted now? Have you voted early? Have you voted often?
Yes, and no. I've only voted twice.
So you're not like Mason voting daily.
No, but here's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I would not put it past Mason to create a bot that just does nothing but vote for him. How confident are you in the Mandy's voting security?
So I only know the number. Again, I don't know the votes, even though you believe that that's not true.
Mhm.
And the voting number does not seem a bot is voting. It seems
Okay.
very consistent with us promoting it.
Okay,
I think I'm told this now.
The integrity of the voting process is somewhat protected.
Well, no, because you could vote every day. Yeah, you could vote 7 times
Well,
a day.
I
as
guarantee
yourself.
you he is doing
right,
that.
but I think it's it's not easy for a bot to get in there.
Okay.
And I'm not an expert on bots.
Yeah.
But I think it's there. But you can vote now. ESPNLA.com. Click the Mandy's 3 voting logo.
I haven't voted yet. I'm going to be a late breaking vote.
Are you going to vote for yourself?
Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not
Made
one of those
possible by our
weirdos.
friends, the law offices of Joseph S. Normand.
But my vote is up for grabs. Sorry, I'm stepping on your reed.
It's
Me
okay.
too. I can be bought.
Yeah.
213-747-2000. Joseph and his team over there helping make our voting page possible.
So what are we going to do for our votes? I mean, like I
don't know, but
persuadable.
I'm letting it out there right now. I can be bought.
Yeah, me too.
You want to slip me a few Benjis?
So did you hear my bit
to get all
earlier?
my votes.
I want to ramp Sliwa up to campaign for host of the year, to
Tell
go
me-
back to
Can't
back.
win 2 in a year.
Chris, just tell
Can't
me
win
to
2 in a
give.
row.
Why?
You think so?
John's won 2 in a row.
Yeah,
I've won 2 in a row.
Yeah, anybody
Right.
can
That's
win.
true.
Any eligible person. Chris, but I'm dead serious. If someone wants to pay me to vote for them, I'm happy to do it.
I'll pay you.
To vote for you?
Yeah.
What do you want to win?
Personality of the year. I want to
Okay.
go back to back.
I want fill in of the year, but I also am I up for bid of the year? I want the nut milk.
The nut milk is up for
I mean,
bid
I
of the year.
leaned in. I brought a blender.
See,
I
I
soaked the
feel
nuts overnight.
strongly that when Mason wrote a Chat GPT love letter to my
Right.
wife on Valentine's Day and had me present it to her as if I wrote it, is the bit of the year. But Chris didn't love that.
I
bit.
didn't. I
You just
it's a nominee.
there it is. That's
That's
you
great.
monster. That's
You know
my
what?
wife when she found out I lied
think
to
I
her.
can incentivize this.
No,
I think I
am-
should make nut milk if I win bid of the year for
Right
nut
there?
milk. Yeah, I should just make it on stage.
How long does it take to make?
I can have it all prepped.
Okay.
You just you are so into this bit that you want to come up on stage and say all the tawdry things you said that day.
I mean, I can do it straight if you want.
No, that's not as fun. I mean,
Yeah, all these things are. See, this is why you got to get tickets to the
Yeah.
Mandy's. We don't even know how this all plays out.
Yeah.
So it should be good. All right, let me get this in before we get to Game of Games. Momo, you sent me this over the weekend,
Yeah.
and then it blew up. And Greg, here's my question: why did it take this long? And here's what I'm talking about. In 1991, Angel Hernandez became a Major League Baseball umpire. He has been the worst umpire in the major leagues consistently for the last 6-7 years. He's been awful.
Yeah.
Terrible. There are memes and videos and examples all over the internet of how bad this guy has been. Over the weekend, they finally got him to retire. Immediately. He's out. He's done. Greg, what took so long?
Have you never actually watched Angel Hernandez umpire a game?
I have.
You have. You've noticed that he always makes it all about himself. It's
Correct.
all about him. So why, in that sense, would he then say, I want to go? He was protected by the umpires union. He had the ability to stay as long as he wanted to, and he was doing it because it was about him. It was never about the game. It was about Angel Hernandez. That's why it took so long.
Ramona,
Yeah.
if you're that bad at your job,
I know that people are literally
Eventually-
applauding when you're retiring.
eventually someone is going to get you. Why did no one ever get this guy
They
until
tried
now?
it. He sued him. I mean, he
Right.
brought workplace misconduct. I think there's a lawsuit or something.
Right.
It was,
that was thrown out.
Yeah.
He sued Major League Baseball for, I believe it was discrimination of some sort.
age discrimination maybe.
And they let him keep his job, and he just would miss call after call. There was a game, you guys, it was on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, I don't know if you saw this. Bryce Harper was called out on a third strike in the top of the first inning. Okay? Top of the first inning. He's having a conversation with the umpire, and the umpire just throws him out on the spot.
Yeah.
Memo to all umpires, referees, officials in every sport. We are not there to see you.
Nope.
We are there to see Bryce Harper, who makes $300 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
You can discipline him without ejecting him, yet they throw him out on Friday in the top of the first inning. If I'm Major League Baseball, I suspend that ump for a game. I just say, look, you don't get it. People don't care that Bryce Harper insulted you. They're there to see these elite baseball players play. And that's something, is to your point, Greg, Angel Hernandez never did. He made it all about himself.
Yeah, that was what Hunter Wendelstedt does too. I should never know the umpires' names.
I agree with you.
In any sport. That includes the NBA. I should never know the name Scott Foster because of what he does.
But at
Angel
least
Hernandez,
Scott Foster you can talk to. He doesn't have a quick trigger.
No, he also.
I mean,
he's got some past
right
stuff.
Well, I mean, and the stuff with Chris Paul makes no sense. But you shouldn't know that if Chris Paul comes to your team, you have to root for Scott Foster, not to ref your games.
There's very rare. There's like, what is it, Zach Zarba? That's the only time you know someone's name that actually does a good job.
Mark Davis is a good ref too.
So let me give you a couple Angel Hernandez stats, okay?
Yeah.
He only worked 10 games last season because of a back injury, but he missed 161 calls according to Umpire
in 10
Auditor.
games.
In
10 games?
That's an average of 16 a game.
Yeah.
Oh.
According to Umpire Auditor. Now, this is an Umpire Auditor record. These are like these websites that keep track of these things. Angel Hernandez rang up Wyatt Langford on 3 consecutive pitches out of the zone. The strikeout pitch, so strike 3, missed outside by 6.78 inches.
6 inches?
This was the largest miss on a called strikeout in Umpire Auditor history. In 2018, in the AL Division Series, Game 3, Angel Hernandez had 3 of his calls overturned by replay in the first 4 innings.
I mean,
just so bad.
Come on. It would seem that if you're at that level of incompetence, that it shouldn't be so hard to get rid of. And Greg said it earlier. It's the umpires union. They're really strong. And that was it.
I think the issue, though, is not just that he's bad. It's the way. It's what you were talking about. He made it about himself, but it's the way that, like, when somebody would protest. Okay, like if I make a mistake in life, I'm usually the first person to be like, "Oh man, I really blew that one."
Right.
Like I just stepped on.
But
Chris's
umpires,
read there.
for whatever reason,
they double down.
Yeah, it's just, remember when they threw out Aaron Boone earlier this year, and Aaron Boone hadn't said anything.
Yeah, there was one batter. I forget who it was. It was I can't. It was Ian Kinsler. Ian Kinsler didn't even protest. He just turned around and looked at him, and he threw him out of the game.
Right.
You're
It's
gone.
just ridiculous.
Doesn't it feel like Angel Hernandez was Leslie Nielsen in Naked Gun
Very
personified?
much so. Very much so. And that's not good. But I'm glad he's out. And now we all get back to our lives. Okay, before we get to Game of Games, this is going to be the last show I think you do before the clip premiere. Are you scheduled to do any more shows this week?
No.
Okay. So
you never know with Mace. But
I wanted to play the trailer. For those of you who don't know, Ramona's podcast series, The Sterling Affairs, has been turned into a 6-part miniseries on FX that debuts on June 4th. We're all super excited because Momo got us into the premiere. I'm going, Lisa's going, Mason's
going. Do you rent a tux
going,
or do you just have
Juan's going.
Yeah.
I think you have to dress up. I don't think I have to dress up.
Yeah, no, you just have to look nice. Like you're
I'll
going
wear a
to a
sport
wedding.
coat or something. Yeah. But it's amazing. The casting, everything else. I'm going to play the trailer for you. This runs 2 minutes. This is Ramona's TV show, which debuts a week from tonight, right? Next Tuesday?
A week from tonight. No, yeah, and the premiere is next Monday.
Yeah, so here's the clip trailer.
Let's hear it for the fabulous Clippers and our new coach, Doc Rivers.
The Clippers have never won a championship, ever.
We are going to win this year, and it will change your life.
Look at you. Is that Havarti?
Are you trading DeAndre Jordan?
Excuse me?
This is my assistant, V.
I'm Mr. Sterling's right-hand arm. How can we have a Ferrari? Oh, hi, Mrs. Sterling.
I love my calendar girl.
It's the rise of the takers. I hired somebody to follow the money. She's suing me.
I need to show them that I have the power.
Are you stupid or something? Don't bring black people to my games. Having fun? I know we are. What's your wingspan?
Everybody up. We have to protect the players.
The season ticket holders are used to a certain amount of access.
I'm used to a certain amount of people acting freaking normal.
Tape recording of UNV? It's out.
Tell me what's on the tape.
Certain statements about...
What in the what?
That can't be true.
You think I'm a racist?
No.
Dude is literally saying that I'm a piece of property.
I'm your owner.
You're not my owner. Every second counts.
Players love me.
We literally hate you.
My kids go ask me why I'm playing for a man who's saying all those disgusting things behind my back.
Our whole world is burning down. For what?
I'm lining myself up to run the Clippers organization.
Are we bad people?
Does it matter?
I follow all of the players, but none of them follow me back.
How good is that?
Yeah, it's.
I can't wait.
Better if you watch that too.
Yeah, I can't wait. Our
It's
clip.
got that like Succession kind of music
Yeah.
there, but also a little bit. There's
week
funny
from
parts
tonight,
too.
Ramona's one of the executive producers. It's based on her podcast series. Can't wait. All right, coming up, Jacob and Ronnie will join us, as
Okay.
he often does on Tuesdays, for Game of Games. I would like to right now congratulate Jacob on finishing with the silver medal in second place in Game of Games, because he always does. And before we get to that, let me tell you about Southern California Toyota dealers. For as long as I've been associated with the Lakers, as a matter of fact, way longer than that, 48 years, Toyota and the Lakers have been in business together. Why? Because year after year, Toyota delivers quality, reliability, and simply the best vehicles on the road. And right now, brand new inventory is waiting for you. Choose from an amazing selection of cars, trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and EVs. Great deals waiting for you now. All you got to do is see your Southern California Toyota dealers or visit Toyota.com. Toyota, we make it easy. Game of Games, next. ESPN LA.
One sports radio show in L.A., Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, no Mace today, but Momo is in, replacing Mason, and our friend Jacob and Ronnie is in studio with us, as he often is on Tuesdays. Jacob, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Excellent. Glad to have you here. Okay. Brian, is this your last Game of Games before you go on vacation?
I'm here tomorrow, too.
Tomorrow as well. Okay, so you could post a number, as they say in golf. We'll see what happens. So it's Brian, Greg, Ramona, and Jacob. My game today, and it's about the conference finals. The NBA's conference finals are going on right now, so this is a quiz specifically about the conference finals. It's multiple choice. Here we go. This team has appeared in a record number of conference finals, 24, and also has the most conference final wins with 19. Is it A, the Pistons, B, the Lakers, or C, the Celtics? Brian, Pistons, Lakers, or Celtics?
Let's go Celtics.
Greg?
I'm going Lakers. Why would you go against the Lakers?
Ramona?
Lakers.
Jacob?
Lakers.
It is Lakers, and
Brian,
everybody's
come
on
on.
the board. But
No,
Brian.
Damn.
Okay.
I'm never going against the Lakers.
Number
or
two.
Because
Celtics.
it's kind of a dubious record because they have 17 titles, but they made it to 19. They've lost in the finals too.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, question 2. In 2022, the NBA named the Eastern and Western Conference trophies after 2 NBA Hall of Famers. Who are those 2 players? A, Bob Cousy and Oscar Robertson. B, John Havlicek and Kobe Bryant. Or C, Pete Maravich and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So the trophies are named after one of those groups. Greg, Cousy and Robertson, Havlicek and Bryant, Maravich and Kareem. Who is it?
I want to say Cousy and Robertson.
All right, Momo.
Cousy and Robertson.
Jacob.
Going with the crowd.
Brian.
Yeah, let's go with the crowd.
You guys are all correct. Bob Cousy and Oscar Robertson.
I didn't know it was Bob. I knew it was Robertson.
Yeah,
No, I was trying
that's
to
all
be-
you needed.
I thought it was.
I was trying to be
Bill
slick
Russell.
about it.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't Kobe.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. They also named the conference title MVP awards after 2 other Hall of Famers. Who are those 2 players? So if you win the conference finals MVP.
Okay.
A, Phil Jackson and Pat Riley. B, Tim Duncan and Julius Erving. C, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Momo.
Larry and Magic.
Jacob.
Larry and Magic.
Brian.
Yeah, Larry and Magic.
Greg.
Larry and Magic.
You guys are all correct. Did you all know that?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
You just did
I just didn't think it was the other ones.
All right.
Process of elimination.
Greg, Ramona, and Jacob are all 3 for 3. Brian is 2 for 3. All right. Jacob, LeBron James played 4 years in Miami with the Heat. In how many of those years did the Heat win the Eastern Conference Finals? A4, B3, C2. 4, 3, or 2?
I believe it was 3.
Okay, Brian.
I'm going to go 4.
Greg.
I think it was 4.
Momo.
The answer is 4.
The answer is 4. And all of a sudden, Greg and Ramona are tied. Jacob and Brian are
They went to the
1
finals
back.
all 4 years. They just didn't win all 4 years.
Yeah, they only won 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to Brian. Brian, as we covered earlier, the Lakers have appeared in more conference finals than any other team, 24. The Celtics are now appearing in their 23rd. What team is third on that list with 14 appearances in the conference finals? Is it A, the Pistons, B, the Bulls, or C, the Spurs? Pistons, Bulls, or Spurs?
I'm going to go Spurs.
Okay, Greg.
Pistons.
Bulls, or Spurs? You're going Pistons. Ramona. Pistons, Bulls, or Spurs?
I'm going to say Bulls.
Jacob.
I will go with Spurs as well.
Spurs is the correct answer.
Really?
It is 4-4.
Wow. I didn't know that one.
Wow.
I was like, Bulls, they won 6 titles.
I thought the Pistons were like over a longer period of time.
Yeah,
The
but I don't
Spurs
think
were
they went to
shorter.
too many finals.
The Spurs have made 14 conference finals appearances. Okay, next one. Michael Jordan has the highest points per game average in the conference finals, 31 points per game. Who's second on that list, averaging 29 points a game? Greg, this one coming to you.
Okay.
A, Kobe Bryant, B, LeBron James, C, Shaquille O'Neal. Kobe, LeBron, or Shaq?
My first thought was Kobe before you gave the answer, so I'll go Kobe.
Okay, Ramona.
LeBron James.
Oh,
Jacob. Kobe, LeBron, Shaq.
I'm going to go with Shaq.
All right, Brian.
I almost said Shaq.
I kind of like Shaq here, too.
The correct answer is LeBron
Yes!
James, and Ramona
Yes!
has the
got the
lead.
lead.
Like 50.
Okay. This is the last one.
Let's
Momo.
go.
You get this.
Let's go.
And you win it, but you have to go first.
Okay.
Is everybody just one back?
Everybody else is one back. Ramona has 5.
So don't screw it up,
Everybody else
Momo.
has 4. All right, Momo. Only 7 players ever have scored over 1,000 points in the conference finals.
Okay.
Which one of these guys is not on that list? He has not scored over 1,000 conference finals points. A, Tim Duncan. B, Kevin Durant. C, Larry Bird. Tim Duncan, Kevin Durant, Larry Bird. Which one has not scored? And by the way, it's very close. This person has scored 956 points.
John, I will go with Kevin Durant.
Okay. That means you guys all have to go opposite of her. You guys either have to take Tim Duncan or Larry Bird. Jacob, who do you want?
I will go with Duncan.
Okay. Brian.
I'll also go Timmy D.
Greg.
Yeah, Duncan was where I was going to.
The correct answer is Tim Duncan. It is a
Yeah.
4-way.
Ginobili and Parker scored a lot in those. He was
It
like
is a
rebounding
He was in
defense.
so many finals.
Tie.
Oh, come on.
Unbelievable. All
Don't
right,
worry,
here's
Ramona, don't worry.
Kevin
I'm going to
hasn't
come
been
in
in that many
second.
conference finals.
I'll be coming in second.
All
Don't
right.
worry.
Dang it.
Here we go. The NBA, this is a tiebreaker. Everybody write something down.
Oh.
Jacob, you got something to write with?
I
Got something to
don't.
write on? Here we go.
Thank you.
All right. Here we go.
So Don Reed, he's not going to need this.
Okay. The NBA has 30 active teams. How many of those teams have never made the conference finals?
Wow.
Out of those 30, never made the conference finals. Everybody write down a number.
Wow.
All right. You got a number, Jacob? Or Jacob's got one. Ramona, you got one?
Yeah, I'm trying to write it. Hold on.
All right.
There we
Greg, you got
All
one?
right, I'm in.
Brian, you
I'm
got
in.
one?
I got one.
Brian, what'd you write down?
18.
18 have never made. Greg.
Out of 30?
Yep.
Wow, you're really high. I just went 2. I went low on 2.
Ramona, what'd you write?
2.
Oh, we're okay.
Jacob, what'd you write?
7.
I think Jacob's going to win that.
The correct answer is 2.
Yeah, Momo!
Momo and Greg each get a win.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Look
you
at that.
actually each get 2
Wait,
wins.
wait.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can name them.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see
So
if
it's
we
got
can
what?
name them.
Charlotte, maybe?
Correct.
I think that is
Yeah.
one of them.
And then the,
The other one is
would-
it's not the Kings.
It's not the Magic. It's not.
Hold on. Let's think.
You want a hint or no?
No, we can get this.
Yeah, we can get it.
Wait. Okay.
It's got to be something like.
Just
Always
take a
that-
guess. I'll give you 3 strikes.
New Orleans.
New Orleans!
Boom! Look at that.
Way to
The Pelicans and the Hornets
Wow.
are the only 2 franchises never to appear in a. Even the Clippers have made it.
Yeah, the Clippers made it a couple years ago.
And didn't the
Kings
Charlotte
made
Hornets
it.
go to New Orleans?
Yeah.
Aren't they
That's why.
connected?
Wow,
yeah,
they are,
so that's
yeah.
it's all just Charlotte.
Yep.
Wow.
So, hey, Jacob, before you get out of here, I find it interesting. You went to school with Donald Sterling's kids.
I did.
And you told me something when we were talking about Ramona's show that I didn't know. That and I'm surprised I never knew this because I used to work for the Clippers. Donald Sterling is an attorney.
Correct. He did personal injury early in his career.
He was a fantastic personal injury attorney.
And then just graduated into more real estate and got kind of stopped practicing law.
Took his money and put it into real estate, made some incredible real estate investments that are still...
Drive down Wilshire Boulevard and you will see all of them.
That's right.
On the outside. So you're going to watch the show? You're going to watch clips?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to. Yeah, funny enough, my friend, a guy that I went to, since elementary school, we've been buddies. He was actually the attorney that consummated the deal when Sterling sold the Clippers to Ballmer.
So the one that Shelley orchestrated. That's a big part of the
Which
show,
one is your
right?
friend?
Bob Darren.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Bob,
Momo, that's covered in Clipped, right?
Yeah,
With
that's in
Shelley
there.
kind of
Bob's not in the show, but
Right.
yeah.
Shelley kind of outmaneuvers Donald and sells the team out from under him to Steve Ballmer, right?
I mean, it's not kind of about it. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, she had some neurologists look at him and say he was mentally incapacitated and unfit to run the family trust.
And boom, there it goes.
All right, well, Jacob, you technically finished second because Greg and Ramona tied for first. So
I told her, don't worry about me. I'll be second.
Your streak is
That's me on
alive.
Around the Horn every day. Every time I'm in the showdown, I always lose.
That's right.
I never get to do the face because I'm not good at the one-liners. Every time we do
If
that.
Jake was on the Olympic team, he would have the largest collection of silver medals of any U.S. Olympian ever.
That's right.
Well, great to see you, as
Thank you.
always.
You
We'll
too.
see you
You
next
too.
week.
That was fun.
Coming up next, Super Crosstalk. Hit it, Brian.
That's 3 straight shutout victories for Hugo Lloris and the Black and Gold.
Save Lloris!
LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk, presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
He doesn't have his megaphone, but Cap is in studio along with our buddy DeMarco Farr. Hi, DeMarco.
Hey,
How are you?
What is happening? I was standing here for like 5 minutes, and you guys both, you and Momo, didn't even notice me.
Just had the headphones on, and
you
we're
guys are all
drilling
locked
it.
in. I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
What's going on?
A lot, and I'm glad Cap's here because I almost, Cappy, I almost texted you over the weekend because I would imagine, and I just know this from because Cap and I have run in similar circles for many years. Mason and I were kind of the show of record in San Diego before Cap and Billy Ray kind of took that mantle over from us, and they were the show of record in San Diego for 20 years after Mason and I were for like 5. And Cap, I would imagine anyone who was in that chair, and you and I both were, has a unique appreciation for the great Bill Walton.
Oh.
And when I got word that he died, it was like somebody punched me in the stomach. He really is one of one, isn't he?
Bill Walton is an amazing guy.
I mean, truly an amazing person. Hi, Momo. By the way, you're all made up today. You're looking good.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking good.
You look good today.
Came over from around the
You look
way.
good every day.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
but
But other days I show up
certain
and
days.
to work out.
She's cutting out a crust in a couple minutes
Yeah.
to go get more done on
See
her hair.
these
I think your
roots?
hair looks
Yeah.
good.
These roots,
Yeah.
no, it's just because we.
Well, we need you looking like $1 million for
I know.
the clipped
For
premiere.
Monday.
Yeah,
for
I
Monday.
got to get my roots done. Now
Yeah.
I'm like old and have gray hair.
Yeah, Kev, give me
Can't have that.
your first impressions of the passing of Bill Walton.
Okay, so I'll tell you guys a quick story. Yesterday morning, I'm out on my normal walk with my girlfriend, Rachel, as she's known around these parts, and I get a buzz on my phone that says, Bill Walton has passed, and I'm like, it stopped me.
Me too.
It stopped me from the walk that we were on, and I had to I was catching my breath. I don't want to sound overly dramatic, but I'm literally catching my breath over this whole thing, and she's like, "What happened?" I told her, Bill Walton died. I can't believe it. I can't get over what? I can't believe this, right? And she's like, "Oh my God, wow!" So we kind of kept on walking, but I'm struggling, right? And I said to her, I go, "You want to know who Bill Walton was?" And she goes, "Yeah." She knows who he is, but she's like,
Right.
"You want to know who Bill Walton was?" And I have kept a voicemail on my phone from 2012
Cool.
that Bill Walton sent to me in a time where things were not going great for me. And what he had to say, I played it for her on the streets. We're literally standing on the street corner, and I play for her this voicemail, and we both start crying.
Wow.
We're both standing there on the street
Are
corner.
you,
about to cry now.
Weird question, but
Yeah.
are you comfortable playing it on Sedano and Cal?
I'm going to play it, and
Okay.
the reason I'm going to play it is because I want people to understand, what we're hearing about Bill Walton is all these great accolades from people who were colleagues, who were employer types, top executives from ESPN or whatever. But there's a part of Bill Walton that the public knows about who he is because of what he was as a ball player, what he was as a corporate pitchman, what he was as a crazy broadcaster. But there's parts of Bill Walton that you had to really, really, really know him to understand what he was. And I'll just give you guys just one example. Do I have a second here to tell you this?
Absolutely, yeah.
So this is probably, I'm going to say, 7-8 years ago or so. You guys will know the name John Carney. Remember the old
course,
NFL kicker,
kicker.
John
Yeah,
Carney?
of course.
John
Great
Carney,
guy.
amazing guy. John Carney calls me one day and he said, "Hey, a friend of mine, his daughter was in a car accident. And in this car accident, as I recall, the story was she got into this car accident. She was on the freeway. She got out of the car. This was late at night. And a car hit her.
Okay.
And took her leg.
Okay.
In this,
wow.
I mean, took
Literally?
her leg.
Lost her leg.
Lost her leg
Wow.
on the spot. So Bill Walton and I, we both, we spent a lot of time together because we were both very passionate about an organization called the Challenge Athletes Foundation. And Challenge Athletes Foundation is an organization where if you've lost a limb in an accident or maybe in a military situation,
But still want to do sports.
you want to live your life through sports, the Challenge Athletes Foundation comes to your rescue. Prosthetic legs, prosthetic arms, bikes that are prepared, in any sport really. So Bill and I had been together on the Challenge Athletes Foundation for years. We worked together. So the story goes that Bill is going to call me because Bill wants to go visit this young lady who lost her leg because he wants to...
Doesn't know her.
Doesn't know her at all.
Yeah.
Wants to immediately introduce her to the Challenge Athletes Foundation. He calls me up and he says, Scott, it's Bill. And you know the way he would say it. Yeah. And he goes, hey, listen, you're on the board of that Computers to Kids organization, aren't you? And I said, yeah, I am. And he goes, well, I'm going to go visit this young lady in the hospital. I want you to come with me. He goes, could you possibly get her a computer? Because she's going to be in the hospital for a long time.
How about that? For a girl he
Right.
didn't even
He
know.
didn't know, right? But here's the best part of it. So Bill and I meet at this hospital. Now, you got to remember, there's no cameras. There's no fanfare. There's no social media team. Nobody's posting this. I mean, this is just Bill Walton going to visit this young girl. I'm his guest to visit her as well, and I'm going to bring her this gift because she's going to be sitting in this hospital for a long time. So we got her a brand new computer, and we go walking in together, Bill and I, and we sat there with the young lady. Her name was Jana, and her father, his name was Eric, and we spent a couple hours talking. Here's the punchline to the story. Bill Walton went back to that hospital for 70 straight days.
Whoa.
Wow.
70 days in a row, Bill Walton went to that hospital to visit with that young lady and her father every day, 70 days, 7 days a week until she got out of that hospital.
Wow.
And that's why I want to play this again. I played this earlier, and Ramona, Momo, I know you got to go, so I'll let you go after this. But I went down the rabbit hole, Cap,
Fantastic.
to hear stories like that, and I've been trying to explain over the course of the past couple hours, and this is going to be the challenge for you, Scott, in the 2 hours that you have today, as to why so many of us are so emotional and so affected by this. And it's because of the example he set. Rick Carlisle, the coach of the Pacers, played with Bill Walton on the 86 Boston Celtics. Carlisle was a bench player, sat at the end, but he said he loved Walton, loved playing with him. And yesterday before his game, Indiana was playing Boston last night. As it turns out, the last game of their season.
Right.
They got eliminated. But Carlisle, before the game, all he wanted to talk about was Bill Walton. And this runs about 40 seconds. Him trying to explain to people who didn't know Walton what he was all about, and I think he nailed it. Here's Carlisle.
I know there's been a lot of talk today about what he meant to the whole world. To me, he was a living, breathing event in history, just walking around. He was involved in so many events in pop culture, in sports. He played drums for the Grateful Dead in the pyramids in Egypt. He's a guy that did everything. And there's been a lot of talk today about, how he speaks in hyperbole so much and stuff. But he defiantly competed for every moment in life to be the greatest it could possibly be.
And I thought that was really well said.
Wow.
Like, think about this. If you look at every moment of your life and you compete to make it as great as it could possibly be, like with an enthusiasm unseen by mankind, he would talk in all these ridiculous things. And you couldn't be around Bill Walton and walk away from it and not be smiling.
Oh, yeah.
He just made everybody smile. Momo, I know you got to go, but hey, I may not see you until Monday at the clip premiere.
I think you'll see me. I think I'm going to be around here Thursday, but hopefully I'll see you Monday,
When
too.
does the show actually go on?
The next day.
Okay, so Monday's the premiere.
Yeah.
Tuesday it goes on, and please pardon me for not knowing. Is it Hulu?
Hulu, yeah.
Okay, got
but it's going to be on FX too, right?
I think so. I think it streams on Hulu. And
Right.
then
I think it's on. I think it airs on FX and then streams the next day on Hulu, if
Something
I read
like-
it correctly.
Okay, because I'm getting Hulu just for this, just so you know.
Of
It's
course.
okay. You sign up for the free trial for a month. It's okay.
I swear to God.
It's okay. Just sign up for the trial. It's okay.
Do you not know this?
What's that? I know that we get it free as part of our deal.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know how to make that work.
Me
either.
neither. So
I'm with you.
There's a code.
my daughter calls me the other day. She goes, "Dad, we got to get Disney Plus. We got to get Hulu. And I don't remember. There's a third one that comes with it. I don't remember what it is.
ESPN.
Oh, that.
I want that. I don't know how to do it.
And so my daughter goes, "Dad, please, I just got this new smart TV, and I really want to use your account. Can I do this?" I'm like, "Okay, hold on. I'm going to try and figure it out." So I go onto the Disney portal, and I finally kind of find the way to do it.
Really?
Yeah. And then it says something like opt in.
Right.
And I was
because you have a choice. Here's how it works. You have a choice between park passes or
Well, I want both.
the
So
bundle.
do I.
I've
Me
been
too.
here for
Greg,
15 years. I
I'm
want
right
both.
about this.
You
all
have
right?
to choose.
I don't want to choose.
That's
Okay,
why
you
when they
want
said,
both.
Momo, when they said opt in,
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second, what am I opting in? I'm getting something.
And you're opting out.
I'm giving
Yeah.
something up. What am I?
So what-
I didn't do
what do we
it.
do?
I
You
don't
just
even
pick
know
one?
that I'm getting
Yeah.
a bundle.
Okay.
I feel like
But
I'm
you have
paying
to
for
go
all
into
three
the-
of them.
you have to go
I don't
into
know
the
what. I don't know
portal
how
and
to
choose.
Once
Okay.
you have something, how do you
Yeah.
not have the other
Oh,
things?
oh,
and
they
the-
actually have an answer for that. In the
Yeah.
portal, they say, hey, if you're currently paying for these services,
Yeah.
you can actually do this, whatever that is, and then we'll get them for you, even if you're currently a
I
subscriber.
hear all that, and I don't know how that actually works.
You need somebody
I know.
to do it.
Like,
Yeah.
like to me, I'm like, okay, so if I just get a bundle, you're gonna like disconnect all my subscriptions to the other. It's like the same thing. You buy a new phone, and they go, oh, we'll give you all these things. I'm like, but I already have Apple TV, so are you gonna go over the top of that? Are they gonna cancel that?
No, you would still get it. And it just we'll get you guys squared away. Hey,
All right.
before we get out of here, DeMarco, I want to
yeah.
Let's
I
work on
feel
it
it.
together.
I wanted to
And I
ask one
can't
question.
wait to see this, by the way. I'm so
know.
excited. The billboards just get me all fired up.
I know they're all
DeMarco.
over town.
Yes.
Brian,
So cool.
walk in front of the mirror so DeMarco can see you.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, Brian Cohen, right
Soccer
there.
hair, yeah.
Yeah, has the best hair of anybody at the station.
Big time. Yes, sir.
He has, by the way, unsolicited and unprovoked.
Yeah?
One day last week on the air, he said he's a big Chargers fan. He said,
Well, can't have everything.
He said, if the Chargers don't win more games than the Raiders, because
Then the
Momo and I are
Raiders.
Raider fans,
Okay.
I will shave my head.
Oh,
And I said, I'll cut it
no.
for you.
You bet the locks?
He bet.
Oh,
his hair.
no.
And by the way, he's not betting against anyone. He is that confident.
I
of
think
it.
your hair is safe. I do. I think your hair is safe. But that's. Look, you can lose
Thank you.
Herbert week 1.
Yeah,
it's still safe?
You can lose Herbert week 1, and then there goes your hairdo. If your quarterback
Are
stays
you not-
healthy, yeah,
what
you're
is your
fine.
level
You can
of-
say that about anybody, though, if injuries happen.
But that's what
you
I'm
know?
saying. You're nuts. Yeah.
Brian, what is your level of concern on a scale of 1 to 10?
Maybe like a 1.
I'd be confident. Yeah, you're going to have a better
Okay.
record.
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you, Marco.
I'd be
Yeah.
worried because I love that hair.
Yeah.
I had that same hair, Johnny I. I had that
Back when you were a youth.
I love that.
I had that exact same hair, and I used to pull it all back in a ponytail so you couldn't even tell. And I had this man bun,
Yeah.
you know, and
Looks good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good look.
Look like
You ever
Maui's
pull
cousin.
it back? You ever,
Yeah,
you ever,
I'll
you
pull
ever-
it back every
yeah,
now and
so
then.
Have
I
you
do.
ever had a crew cut?
In like high school.
Wow.
Don't you ever conform.
Yeah, dude.
Please, Raiders, don't waste Bowers, please.
Well,
that is a
here's-
fantastic athlete. I wish
Right.
the Rams would
Well,
have
how
picked
about
him up.
this?
Please don't waste him.
DeMarco, how about this? I'm a big Raider fan.
Yeah.
We have Brock Bowers, great tight end. Devontae Adams, arguably the best wideout in
Yeah.
football, and we have no one to throw him the
No
ball.
one to get him the rock. What
And
is
no,
the plan
come on,
there?
And all
No.
all the Raider fans call and yell at me. They say, Ireland, you're jumping off the ship too early. We have Aiden O'Connell. He's going to be great.
No, but you have
No,
Gardner
no.
Minshew now. Gardner Minshew is a winner.
Is a what?
You heard me.
Is a who?
He's a winner.
Cappy.
Really?
He went
Yeah.
to Washington State. When's the last time they won anything?
Boom.
Yeah, but
Mic drop.
Gardner Minshew is one of those guys that players rally around.
Oh, really?
I'm not telling you. No,
how many,
don't laugh
how
at
many
me.
Super
I'm telling
Bowls
you.
has Gardner Minshew been to?
Wait a second,
I'm
DeMarco.
sorry, that was good.
Wait, DeMarco.
Oh, you were serious?
Wait, DeMarco. if people laugh, if I would have said that about Kurt Warner before Kurt Warner became Kurt Warner, everybody would have laughed
This
at me.
is true, but that's
So
Gardner Minshew
you're
talking
saying
about.
Gardner
Yeah.
Minshew has some Kurt Warner in
Yes,
him?
that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm
Yeah, I
hearing.
say Gardner Minshew's just got a winner's
Are
mentality.
you, wait, serious question.
Yeah.
Are you drunk?
I'm not drunk, but I may have done a couple of gummies on the way
I
in.
like it.
All right. Cappy and DeMarco coming at you next. ESPN.